Okay, so next question, question 8, also a very, very easy question. Okay, a very, very easy question. I do sort of have a bit of sympathy for you on this because it is something we learned probably, quite early on in the course. So maybe you don't remember, but I'm not going to have sympathy for you in the long run because it just boils down to, have you done your review work properly? Have you been thorough with your review? Because there is a very, very simple theory, or two theorems that help you to do this, okay? We need to remember the factor theorem, and we need to remember the remainder theorem. Okay, the factor theorem, very simple. It says that if we have a function, f of x, and then if we put in a value, f of a, into that function, if that is equal to 0, then x minus a is a factor of f of x. Okay? So if we put in a value, say 1, and if f of 1 is equal to 0, then x minus 1 is a factor of f of x. The remainder theorem is just an extension of that fact. Again, if we have a function, f of x, and we put a number into that function, say we put in a, and that doesn't give me 0, but actually gives me another number, okay? Then, when dividing by x minus a, we get a remainder of b. Okay? So we can basically use that fact, okay, in reverse. Okay, so I'm just going to delete that. If you need, I'll write those rules down. Very, very important rules to remember. We did learn them. We learned them a long time ago. So we're saying the remainder f of x is divided by, when it's divided by x plus 1, the remainder is 7. So that means if we do f of minus 1, okay, that is going to be equal to 1 minus p minus q plus 5, and that is going to have to give you 7, okay, because that's the remainder that you will get. And we will also know that the remainder when f of x is divided by x minus 2, so if we put in f of 2, we're going to get 16 plus 8p plus 2q plus 5. It's going to give me a remainder of 1. I think Sindea, might have been you said that this was 7, just not being careful, not reading the questions carefully. Mistakes like that happen, which is why you've basically got to know more of the content, so that when you do make crazy mistakes only affecting you, at the high end rather than at the low end, you're going to make silly mistakes. That will happen. So you've got to be able to access every question, so you can pick up as many points as possible. If you're only able to access half the questions and then you make silly mistakes, you're going to get a really bad score. Okay, I don't mind silly mistakes, it happens, but you've got to be able to access all the questions, or at least most of them anyway. Okay, so anyway, basically what we can do is we can turn these into simultaneous equations. So I'm going to get minus p minus q is equal to 1, okay? And then I'm going to get 8p plus 2q is equal to 16 plus 5 is 21, so it would be minus 20. Okay, so I'll then just, I'll call this equation 1 and this equation 2. Let's times equation 1 by 2, so I'm going to get minus 2p minus 2q is equal to 2. So there's equation 3, and now I'll add those two equations. So I'll get 6p equals negative 18, therefore p equals minus 3. And now I know minus 3 minus q equals 1. So negative q is equal to 4. So hang on, have I made a mistake there? Q is equal to minus 4. I'm not sure that's actually the right answer. Yeah, it's not. So what have I done wrong? I've done something really, really silly. 6 is 1. Of course I've been silly, okay? Really, really silly mistake, but as I say, that happens. You just go back and make sure you're checking. It's not minus 3, is it? Because it's minus p minus q equals minus 1. So minus 3 is positive 3. And therefore minus q equals minus 1. Oh, being such an idiot. Sorry, guys. Can't even copy things correctly. So it'd be minus p minus q equals positive 1. So I get positive 3 minus q equals 1. So q is equal to 2. Okay, and that is the right answer. Okay, so, silly mistakes, yeah, they'll happen. But really, guys, these rules, the remainder theory, the factor theory, just pure and simple lack of revision that you haven't done, okay? Because that's quite a straightforward question to get into, okay? Right, now we move on to section B. So I'm going to stop the video there and...